The guy that's going to be busy next week is Bryan Barrett of WGNS, as he called the Oakland Patriots Mount Juliet game tonight for one of the charter members of the Friday Night Thunder Radio Network, WGNS in Murfreesboro. Bryan Barrett joins us on the Gilly Crane Hotline. Bryan, you saw a defensive struggle tonight.
Man, yeah, slobber knocker, as I called it on the air earlier.
Wonderful word.
It was a great football game if you like defense and hard hitting. That's for sure.
Have you ever called a high school game recently where the punter had such an impact as the Oakland punter did tonight?
Man, we're talking about Garrett Taylor, Mr. Football Kicker of the Year finalist, and kind of proved that tonight. Really flipped the field early in the game. 72-yard punt. It punted them down to the 2-yard line, and that really flipped the field and led to Oakland's first score, as Oakland's defense held them 3 and out and got the ball back around the 40-yard line, 45-yard line, and they punched it on in for the first score. So he was really a big key in the game and really kept Mount Juliet backed up all night long. And when you have to go the long take it the distance in a game, and they only had 14 yards total offense in the first half, it was really remarkable.
We're talking to Bryan Barrett of WGNS. Have you decided what game you're going to cover next week, Bryan?
Yes, indeed. I think we're going to go over to Oakland as the Patriots host the Maryville Rebels. A lot of people pointed to this. They played in the regular season, and Maryville won that game. I think it was 3 points. Last year that they played in the semifinals, and Oakland lost a heartbreaker up there. And the year before, Oakland hosted Maryville and beat Maryville to get to the state championship game. So had quite the road with the Rebels here the last few years.
Yeah, and everybody's always said, hey, this, the last 2 years, hey, this is the first of 2 meetings. Well, it was pretty difficult, and we talked to Coach Kevin Creasy earlier in the postgame show. He talked about how beat up and injured his team was. What can you tell us about that?
Well, guys, you look at a game like they play tonight, and you would think that they're beat up and hurt. I did see a couple of kids that have been injured, have big impacts in the game. Justin Jefferson is one. He came back last week. Mookie Wilson, saw him for the first time in several weeks tonight. So I'm not sure exactly how many injuries. I did see Aaron Moore, who was injured on a play and came limping off. I don't know how serious they are, but at this time of the year, you're going to have those injuries. And so hopefully they're healthy enough in the key spots. And Oakland has developed some depth because they've had injuries to overcome throughout the year. They didn't have all their bullets in the gun when they played Maryville earlier this year, especially on the line play. So hopefully they're healthy enough to take on the Rebels. And it's a hard road. Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult road. When Region 3-6A and 4-6A meet up and beat up on each other to get to the semifinal game, and that's been the big tale the last several years. Maryville, I don't want to say they have a cakewalk, but they don't play the competition that Region 3-6A has to play just to get to that semifinal game. So we'll see.
That's Bryan Barrett of WGNS for all the hate mail that we're going to get. It's been an incredible run, and again, when we look at the 6A bracket, I talked about it a couple of minutes ago. It's still royalty left. It's 4 blue-blooded teams: Maryville, Oakland, Ravenwood, and Whitehaven in the Final Four. You're going to have some repeat. Those teams have pretty much made up the Blue Cross Bowl for the last 5 years, haven't they?
Well, it's been the semifinals the last number of years has been Rutherford County versus Maryville, and Williamson County versus someone in West Tennessee, Whitehaven, Germantown, et cetera, et cetera. It's been Whitehaven the last several years, so it's kind of wash and repeat. But I tell you what, I think this year has been very exciting in 6A. Lots of upsets last week, especially, and 2 1 seeds go down tonight on the west side of the bracket. So it's been an interesting year, I think, in 6A football, despite the fact that you have some teams that have been accustomed of late of being in the semis.
Bryan, we appreciate it as always. We appreciate your partnership and the friendship that goes along with it, and we look forward to continuing on. And if I'm not at Oakland next week, I'll be listening to your broadcast. So appreciate you and all that you've done for us. And have a great Thanksgiving and a very good maybe a day or two of rest before Friday night. Okay.
That sounds good. Thanks for all your work there at Friday Night Thunder, and great program, Friday Night Thunder, despite the host. It's a great show, so thanks for your partnership.
These guys are overcomers.
He didn't say hosts. He said
well,
hosts.
they have to be.
Take care. Have a merry Thanksgiving and a happy Christmas.
Will do. Thanks, Weave.
Gobble, gobble.